Personal conduct of the President, acting President, members of Parliament, judges or any person engaged in administrative justice shall not be raised except upon a substantive motion. Now what you are doing here is to subvert this standing order, and through the vehicle of a privilege issue, you are questioning the conduct of the judge. And this is totally wrong and abuse of the process of this House. Standing Order 831, what you are permitted is in violation of Standing Order 831. He should have raised a substantive motion then.
We'll see.
Honourable Speaker, you are the custodian of our rights, and you have to bring your mind to bear when a matter of privilege is raised, and according to the relevant standing order, look at the issue that is raised and determine whether there is a prima facie breach of privilege that arises out of the question that the member raises. Now, I come to the specific issue of our right to raise a matter of privilege should not be used or abused for a collateral purpose. Now, I specifically refer to the matter of privilege raised by Honorable Premnath Dolawatta 2 days ago in this chamber, and which appears in the order paper of yesterday. I regret to say that now I heard him say, through this, I say collateral purpose for this reason, that there is an attempt to bring pressure on the judiciary and public officials in this country through the vehicle of the privilege issue in this House. Now, this has to be avoided, Mr. Speaker, with all respect. Now, what I see is that this is a total abuse of the process. I also heard the member go to the extent of imputing motives to a particular judge's conduct. A judge, whether he should recuse himself from a matter before him, is a matter personal to him, and if he takes that decision, well and good. And there had been instances where, on matters of public importance, judges who have now, for instance, late Justice Prasanna Jayawardena, in the case, the famous case of the Prime Minister's appointment, though his brother appeared before him, he chose to hear the case, and he held against the brother. You see? And the judges had to, you can't interfere with the judge's conduct. And particularly now we are bringing disrepute to this House, and we are abusing the processes, and we are also creating unnecessary conflict between different arms of government, the judiciary and legislature. And this is for the convenience of the executive, for the executive's own convenience. If the executive wants to avoid an election, so be it. Executive can come to the chamber and put the cap on and say, I don't want to allow any election until the next presidential election. That is his prerogative. But then our own rights and privileges can't be subverted by another member raising a privilege issue here and bringing undue pressure on the bureaucracy in this country, on the Secretary Finance, on judges, Supreme Court judges. And this is a total abuse. Honorable Prime Minister knows. And if you allow this, in the past also we brought such issues and we tried to impeach a Chief Justice. And finally this same House had to reverse the whole decision. That is what happened. This has happened in the past. So please don't allow the processes of this House to be abused in this manner. I take serious objection to the manner in which, because you have to see whether there is a prima facie case that arises, whether his privilege has been abused. And similarly, there was another member who wanted to bring another privilege issue or to ask for a select committee against the Independent Election Commission, saying that his rights have been, his privileges have been affected. Now, these are all very frivolous, very unbecoming of a member of this House to be using these different subterfuges to achieve a collateral purpose. So therefore, I request that when you take a decision on privilege issues, please be mindful of this, because you have to first satisfy yourself whether there is a prima facie case. Particularly in this case, absolutely this is a total abuse of the process of this chamber. May I have the mic? I would like to refer you
Yeah.
to Standing Order 83.1. Now, this particular privilege issue that Honorable Dolavatta has raised should be read along with 83.1. You see, the personal conduct of the President, Acting President, Members of Parliament, judges or any person engaged in administrative justice shall not be raised except upon a substantive motion. Now, what you are doing here is to subvert this standing order, and through the vehicle of a privilege issue, you are questioning the conduct of the judge. And this is totally wrong and abuse of the process of this
I
House.
will keep that in mind.
And there
We'll
is
see.
this Standing Order 831. What you are permitted is in violation of
Right.
Standing Order 831. He should have raised a substantive motion then.
We'll see.